They hadn't spoken in 3 years. Not a word, not a message, not a whisper in passing. And yet, every morning, Henry would still make 2 cups of coffee, one black, one with just a hint of almond milk, and place one on the left side of the dining table, where Catherine once sat. The cup remained untouched, but it was never absent. Catherine had moved into the room at the back of the house. It was meant to be Henry's study once, filled with books and plans. Now it was her retreat, a quiet space, full of light and shadow, where time moved at her pace, not the world's. They had shared so much: laughter, long walks, rainy nights under one blanket, secret dreams whispered before sleep. And then came the misunderstanding. Not a dramatic betrayal, not a betrayal at all. Just a moment when hurt outweighed understanding. Catherine had lost her job. She didn't tell Henry for days. She feared disappointing him. And Henry, who only saw her growing distant, assumed the worst, that her heart was elsewhere. Their last words to each other were sharp, like glass breaking. "If you can't trust me, Henry, what do we even have? And if you can't be honest with me, Catherine, do you even want to stay?" The house fell silent after that, but neither left. Henry couldn't bear the idea of an empty home. Catherine couldn't bear the idea of him living in it without her. So they stayed, existing like ghosts in each other's presence, passing like strangers in the hallway, the only sounds between them being footsteps, doors, and distant television hums. Yet they noticed everything. When Catherine caught the flu, Henry quietly placed medicine and a cup of tea at her door. She never saw him leave it, but it was always warm. When Henry broke his wrist slipping on icy steps, she cancelled her classes and cooked for him every day for weeks. He never saw her serve it, just found the meals perfectly warm, with notes like, "Don't forget your painkillers." "Too salty today, sorry." Love hadn't left. Words had. Then, one rainy afternoon in November, Henry's mother passed away. Catherine found out not from him, but from a mutual friend's Facebook post. She stood at the edge of his door for 10 minutes, unsure. Her hands trembled. Finally, she pushed it open. Henry sat by the window holding a worn photo of his mother. His eyes, once sharp, looked hollow. She sat across from him, silent, like always. He didn't turn to look, but she saw his shoulders relax, as if her presence, even now, still meant something. After a few minutes, she whispered, "She liked lilies." Henry nodded. It was their first word in 3 years. The dam had cracked. Slowly, bit by bit, they began speaking again, not about the past, not about the pain, but about things like, "The mail's on the counter. I made soup. There's enough for you. You watered the plants. Thank you." Soft, neutral things, like laying stepping stones over a river. And then, one evening, while watching an old film they both loved, Catherine whispered, "Do you ever think we gave up too soon?" Henry paused the movie. His hands trembled. "I think we gave up speaking too soon." They looked at each other fully for the first time in years. Really looked. She still had the same eyes, deep, observant. He still had that worried crease between his brows, but beneath it all they both had softened. They didn't apologize. Not that night. Some wounds don't need apologies, just time, presence, and patience. They began anew. Not as the same people, but as 2 individuals who had grown, grieved, and stayed. The silence between them had never been empty. It was full of unsaid love, unspoken regret, and an ache that had never turned into anger. Now, finally, the silence could breathe.